Okay, hi.
Hey, everybody. It's Charms and Gigi.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Hello.
So today we kind of want to talk about a little bit of a serious topic, and we actually were going to do this live. By the way, we told everybody it's going to go on live, so it's actually not going to go on live because YouTube is not allowing us to do it live just yet.
We don't have enough subscribers yet, so like and subscribe.
Yeah, if you
so
don't
we can go
subscribe,
live.
then we're not going to be able to do it live.
We can't go live.
Yeah, so this is not going to be a live event.
So Monday, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends. Tell them to like and subscribe.
Oh, shoot. I hope nobody saw that.
Oh.
I had names on there.
Oh, no.
Okay, first and foremost, this will probably go up around 6:30 tonight. So I have to do a shout out to the Dawn drivers because they told me that if they subscribed today that I needed to do a shout out. So this is for you guys that I see at least once a week at work. So, okay.
Yes.
So today, serious topic.
Serious topic.
The reason I wanted to talk about promiscuity is because I feel like there's a lot of promiscuous people out there, and it kind of bothers me. And I told Gigi last week, I said, I'm sorry, but next week we're going to go live. We're going to talk about promiscuity because it makes me like ill and this and that, and people just don't seem to care about their bodies. And so that's what we're talking about today. And so I had to write some little things down. You know, that's the first and foremost type thing. But I know that you wanted to talk about something that you had mentioned about something you saw on Facebook.
Something I read on Facebook, and I gotta say, because our last episode was about penises, and and the Romans and how wild and crazy they were, and a lot of you already know by history. But I saw on Facebook that when you're intimate with somebody, your brain actually physically connects with that other person. Even if it's a one-night stand, you become connected with that person, and people don't realize that they have one-night stands like there's no tomorrow, and not realizing that they're making an intimate connection with that person. And you may think it's just a quick slam bam thank you ma'am kind of thing, and you're really actually connecting with that person. And I don't know why people don't feel that connection when they're intimate with each other.
Well, I mean, they may.
They might.
It just depends on who they're with. But the thing is, like a one-night stand.
Yeah.
I mean,
You get drunk at a bar, you go home with somebody, and yeah.
Yeah, but then that leads to STDs because then people, like, look at it. I have known people that have gone from date after date after date after date in the same week, and they don't care who they're sleeping with. And let's say that you get an STD. The next night you're with somebody else, somebody new, and you give them that STD. And then it's like, it just keeps like down, it's like a cycle.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting. And so I think that's what we kind of wanted to kind of delve into, because we know people.
Yeah.
And we've talked to a lot of people lately.
We talked to a lot of people, and we have one person in particular that we talk to on a regular basis.
Yeah, he's
young, and I think it seems like it's kind of the young generation too, because as wild and crazy as I am, and as spicy as I am, I'm spicy. I tend to be very monogamous, and I'm not judging anybody if you're not. I'm not trying to get on anybody's stuff about if they're being buck wild and crazy, but at the same time, like Charm just mentioned, you run the risk of STDs and other things, and intimate connections, sometimes falling in love with people unintentionally or whatever. But again, this person that we know does this on a regular basis. They'll tell us about their ex-sexcapades, if you will, and they're not happy.
They're not.
So, you would think, especially a young man, having all these different girls, and he's not a bad looking kid. So, finding the girls for him is really not hard. But he's starting to tell us that he's kind of empty inside, like it's really affecting him.
That's right.
And so I think this goes into that promiscuity thing, is that,
Yeah.
could be great and fun for a while.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, I know this is kind of a personal thing, and I hope this guy's not watching, but about, I don't know, it was a couple of months ago, this guy hit on me, and he was very young, and I was like, what is it with you young guys? And first of all, look at I can't really speak about that because I
Yeah,
went out with a young
likes
guy.
to rock the cradle.
Stop. No, I did go out with a young guy. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I just mustard brick.
We're in the garden.
Sorry, we're in the
If you can
garden.
tell, we're in the garden. We're here with the agave.
We're
and
in the garden.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I dated a young guy, so I mean, it's kind of like, where was I going with this? I'm sorry. So this young guy did hit on me a couple months ago, and I have his phone number, but not because I was, because he was hitting on me or anything like that. It just happens to be somebody that I have his number for a reason. But when something happened, like the algorithm, like when you have somebody's phone number in your phone, it pops up on different sites. Like you can actually see this. And it popped up, like, first of all, I was like, no, I just got out of a relationship. That was a few months ago, by the way. I was like, I just got out of a relationship. And I mean, no, no. Like, I don't want to do this again. And then I realized one night I was on Facebook and he popped up on Facebook. And I knew then that he had a girlfriend for like 3 years. Yeah. And so the next time I saw him, I didn't confront him about it because I knew I wasn't going to go out with this guy.
You should have still said something.
I didn't until I saw him again about a week ago. And he's like, hey, so when are we going to like go out? And I'm like, we're not going to go out. And by the way, don't you have a girlfriend? And he's like, well, I don't kiss and tell. So now that's what the problem is for me. Because that is, now we're getting into cheating, right? Yeah. Not only getting into promiscuity, now we're getting into STDs. We're not only getting into the younger generation, but now we're getting into cheating. And I've known that part of like a life. So
yeah, me too.
We've been there. We've done that. We know what it feels like.
And it's not fun.
It's not. And it takes a lot of like emotional turmoil out of your everything.
It actually really does. That's why I've been married 3 times, because my first 2 husbands cheated on me. And so, my first husband that I'm actually really good friends with now, we were young. I was 17 when we got together. We got married when I was 18. He was a little bit older than me. And we were way too young to be married. He wasn't done sowing his wild oats. He was very promiscuous. But, and I think now I don't know how many of you have ever heard the 80-20 rule, where you guys cheat or girls cheat, and they leave their 80, which, 80%, nobody's perfect, they're not 100, they're 80, but they leave their 80 to go for a 20 because they have something that the 80 doesn't have, and then they realize, oh, I just left my 80 for this 20, and ends up being a big mistake. So
I've never heard of that.
You never heard of the 80-20 rule?
Wow. I learned a lot of stuff from you.
We'll have to talk about that on another episode.
We will. I definitely think that we should bring up for sure on another episode about cheating, because that is something that just destroys families.
Rampant. It does destroy families.
It is. It's like a rampant thing.
It is.
So I think tonight the reason I wanted to bring up promiscuity was because I just feel like we've met a lot of people lately, and a lot of people don't seem to care who they're with. They don't even care about the age. They don't care about how many. And it's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, but that's kind of a shocker to me too, because we're both over 40. And
the over 40.
Yeah, and I'm like, I feel like I'm at that age where, we're past the breeding age, if you will. And so I kind of thought, well, it's going to start dying down. Guys are not going to be chasing after us and stuff. And all of a sudden, all these young guys are starting to hit on me and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I even asked one, why? I'm like,
I'm not saying ew, but I mean, I just think that it's honestly like, it's like, what's the agenda is what it is.
Like, what are you getting this? I'm still trying to figure that out. Now, granted, this one, the most recent one, was not that much younger than me, but still young enough that I'm like, So, and what's the agenda? What is the idea behind? I don't know.
What are you learning?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you guys comment and share and tell us what are your thoughts.
So because we couldn't do a live tonight, we can still get comments.
Yeah.
We haven't checked our email in a while, by the way.
Oh.
So I think that what we're gonna do is the next episode,
Okay.
maybe we'll do like start checking our emails.
We'll check
We're
our
horrible
emails.
about checking our emails. I got in trouble with the first email, so I kind of
that's
feel
right.
like, yeah, I kind of feel like,
You had to divulge your singleness.
no, I don't want to divulge anything. As a matter of fact, it just came out. It was kind of a put on the hook, you know.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's good to be single sometimes because then you could be promiscuous. No, okay.
Okay, that is horrible.
I'm spicy. I
No,
gotta be
you
true
are
to who I
spicy,
am.
but
So yeah.
no, I very much like to be in a relationship, and you know, but that's you know, I got some things to work on.
We all do.
Yeah,
We all
so
That hence 80-20.
80-20.
80-20.
maybe right now I'm only the 20.
No, I doubt it.
I'm kidding.
I doubt
But
it.
anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, this is for you, and hopefully you'll learn something when you're going out with that next guy or girl and you're thinking about hopping into bed. Oh, and by the way, I just want to tell you something, that condoms don't mean you're not going to get an STD.
That's true.
Or
You
even
can break-
pregnant.
You can still get pregnant.
They,
Yeah,
you can
that's-
still. I mean,
yes.
just want to throw that out there. At
Yeah.
you.
Even though I joke and say wrap it up. One of our episodes.
Pompeii penis. Yes.
Oh, Pompeii penis. Wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, I didn't even know what that meant when you said it. You were saying it, and I'm laughing. I'm like, ha ha ha. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. I know sometimes things go over my head, but sometimes if I just stop and think for a second that, okay, this girl's thinking nasty, I know it, then I start
click in my brain, in
thinking
your brain.
about stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Well, I mean, if you're in a monogamous relationship, hey, you know, but if you're
Then
not,
don't.
especially if you're promiscuous, you definitely need to be wrapping it up.
but see, now we're trying to tell people not to be promiscuous, but now you're just like, just wrap it up.
Well, because, you know, I'm on the spicy side, so.
I just say, you know what? If somebody really, truly wants to be with you, they will wait.
They will wait. Well, we talked about that too with the 10-day rule. I know.
That was first episode, second episode?
I don't remember what episode
I don't
it was,
remember, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
10-day rule, whatever.
It worked.
Who's
It's-
calling
it's,
you?
It's my child.
Gabby!
It's okay.
Okay, we're going to wrap this one up.
Yeah. But yes, please comment. Tell
Yeah,
us what you
comment.
think. Give
Tell
us
us what
some
your thoughts
ideas,
are.
tell us your thoughts on this whole
Yeah.
promiscuity thing.
I don't know. Is it promiscuous? Promiscuity?
If you're promiscuous,
I
like
mean,
you're
we're
sleeping
talking
around,
about
you're
something we're not going to say
promiscuous.
the word.
But
I'm
if you're
kidding.
like promiscuity is, you know, just the actual act of being wild and crazy.
Okay, well, this was supposed to be live. Sorry, it's not. It's going to go on a little bit later tonight. Probably more like 6:30 by the time we get
It'll
it
go
posted.
up soon. As soon as we get off, we're
Yeah,
gonna put it up.
as
that
soon as
way.
we get off.
Yeah.
Yep.
That way you guys can start liking and subscribing
Yeah.
and giving us your comments. Please comment.
Okay.
And let us know what
Yeah,
you think.
comment. Don't be afraid.
We want to hear.
Don't be afraid of us.
I'll be afraid of this one.
Okay. Okay, whatever. Okay,
right.
everybody. We thank you for your support and everybody who's been watching.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.